I'd like to call this meeting to order of the Oxridge Building Committee, our regular scheduled meeting for this August 10th. The first item, as usual, is the approval of the minutes that were circulated concerning the July 13th meeting. Are there any corrections, additions to the minutes as drafted? Hearing no corrections, may I have a motion to approve the minutes? Anybody like to make a motion to approve?
Dan moves.
Katie? And second, Dan, can I have your second on that?
Second.
All in favor indicate by raising your hand or saying aye. Are there any nays, any noes, or abstentions? It's carried. Okay, let's go into the pay application number 19, which was sent out yesterday. The summary form was. I'd like to turn it over to George and David.
Yes, so we're billing for the month of July about $974,024. And then what we did this month, we had the final cleaners come in for the academic building. The abatement, American Environmental, that was the abatement for the obviously the existing school. So all the interior abatement's done, and the asphalt is taken out on the outside. So that was the 225 was. And that also included the fuel, the oil storage tank. That was removed. Metal fabrications, that was just working spare tube for the most part. General trades, just doors, hardwares, those type of things. Roofing, that was just some metal work that they did for July. Aluminum entrance storefronts, that's all the windows, curtain walls, doors, hardware for the aluminum doors. Painting, just the interior painting. Plumbing and HVAC, finishing up the plumbing work, HVAC. We did start the commissioning on those systems, and then electrical. We're talking about security systems, the power, and also we've started some of the commissioning on that as well. And then communications, that's the low voltage, the backbone for the telephones, paging system, front row systems. And then Sean's lawn was mostly paving around. Doing some rough grading, paving, sidewalks, and that type of work. And then the subtotal, we got, with our fees and everything, gross the $954,147, and then the total $974,024. And the difference you kind of see there. Ferguson Electric did get their set-aside plan approved from the state. So you'll see on their pay application, their retainage went from 7% to 5%. So this 974 number includes that reduction in retaining from Ferguson Electric for their set-aside.
How does that work, George? George, how does that set-aside work?
They it's the we hold the job is 5% retainage, and then CHRO will hold additional 2%, and that's for the set aside plan. So it's at the beginning it's 7%, and then each trade contractor submits their set aside plan. Based the percentage of like WBEs and SBEs and that type of stuff. And then when the state reviews it and approve it, then they give the authorization to release the 2%.
Okay, so that's right. I forgot about all that nonsense.
Yeah, I think there's about 4 or 5 contractors now who's had that 2% released.
Okay. All right, are there any questions concerning this payment application? Hearing none, I'll move that we approve the application. Is there a second? Rusty seconds. Is there any further discussion concerning this pay application? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion to approve, please indicate by raising your hand or saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any nays? Any abstentions? The motion is carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Before we get started with the progress report, I just wanted to announce to everybody that on the 8th of August, which is Monday, the town officially signed on to a substantial completion, which is a technical term, starts certain liabilities and insurance requirements for the academic wing, which is sections A, B, and C. We also received, at least I received this morning, a temporary certificate of occupancy from the building department. It's 180 days, and will obviously be renewed and reviewed before that period is up for the building, so that we're all set to have people go into the building, the teachers, and get started setting up their classrooms and things of that nature. So George, why don't you take us away on the progress report then?
Yes, and then we'll go into the summary data and actually kick whatever you said. The academic wing, I was carrying the 7/25 date, which was the date that Luke came in with his the administrative staff and the custodial staff. So that will actually be August 5th. That was on the substantial completion form that that was issued. So we did kind of the official substantial completion would be the August 5th, and then still projecting May of next year for the assembly wing and site work. Academic wing construction, we're like 99%, just basically doing some punch list work and like I said, punch list commissioning, those kind of things. Site landscaping like 86%, and then the budget and the construction costs. So at this point, with the allowances and our contingency funds available for the construction contingency, we're funds available. We're looking just over $1 million, $1,041,000, which at this stage is still pretty healthy. So.
Before you move on, and I know it's later in the report, but the punch list status, which is on page 20, that was, I gather that was as of the end of July, but do you know where we stand with our punch list today?
Yeah, currently, so we have an intern, he's been working on our back punch and stuff. So right now, we have about 100 and let's see, 101 items opened. We have 877 items closed, what we call in dispute, which we call 51 items, and that can vary from, it might be what contractors might consider extra work versus contract work and stuff like that. So, and then we currently have 51, I guess, in dispute, and then 8 ready to inspect. So John has been working on that these last 2 days, but that's where we are currently right now.
So to compare that, you're saying the number of items open now is down to 101.
Correct.
And the number ready to inspect is down to 8?
Is to 8. And then we have closed 877.
And 51 are sort of in dispute, if you will.
Yeah. So
okay.
Either might have got assigned to a different trade or that type of thing. So.
And nothing major in that area?
No, nothing major.
Okay.
I would say the majority open right now is the painter, he's been, working on the punch list, painting. We did have our casework cabinet guy. He came out today, so he's starting on his punch list. So,
Okay, so good progress has been made there from what the report shows. Thank you.
Correct.
Sorry to interrupt.
And then what we have, 3 RFIs were issued. We did get 2 PRs, 39 and 40. The 39, that's actually powered to, there's 2 rooms that have these front row systems that the boxes required some, outlets, 110 power, so that those needed power. So first issued a PR for that, and then there was some adding some power for the up systems in the IDF and MDF rooms. So those 2 are going to be done on time and material, especially 40. That's needed to get the network or operating for the UPS. So they're going to start tomorrow, Ferguson, on those two items. We did have 2 PCOs that got accepted by the construction committee, sod for the playground, and then one was just a topsoil allowance. And then, currently we have some open PRs that we're working on, right, or PCOs that we're working on right now. Some of the procurement issues, right now, the current is on the work on the 1950s building. There's some soils around like 5 feet around the perimeter of the 50s building has to be removed with some PCBs were detected and wanted that removed. So Mike Vitti, what he wants is to have that soil removed before we start the demolition of the 1950s building. But right now, American Environmental, they're kind of waiting for, or having some trouble getting some trucks. I guess they're coming from Pennsylvania to take this soil to the landfill for PCB. So they're currently behind, probably like a week or so behind, just trying to get those trucks. So depending from what I told, he's been calling them just about every day, and we're looking, hopefully by the end of this week, we should have, at least an answer and see if we can get the trucks for those. So that has a potential impact on the schedule.
So George, just to make very clear that until the soil is removed, we cannot start demolition on the 1950s portion of the building. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah. Mike Vitti wants the building inspector wants that soil removed before we start demolition on 1950s. And what his concern is, if that soil, if the soil is there, and then as we're demoing the 1950, and then somehow they intermingle, and we might contaminate the block of the 1950 building even more if we don't have if we have the soil there. So that's what his concern is. We did try to do a workaround and say, can we remove the soil, after the building's down, and while we're removing the slab, because the slab has to go out, kind of PCB. Well, move the slab and then move the soil after the building is down. But right now, Mike is kind of wanting to go with the original plan and remove the soil. So I have been talking to, like I said, American Environmental, and we're hoping by the end of this week we'll be able to have the trucks and get them scheduled for early next week. But right now I'm still waiting to hear from them on that.
Okay.
And then, as I was saying earlier, the site work, we completed prepping the access road for the east of the building, grading, all that, and they've actually did the binder course and the final paving last week. So completed placement of sidewalks around the building, and then also the playground for the ELP, or the temporary playground, that's been relocated, and then tomorrow the chips are scheduled to be installed. And then we did start landscaping around the building. They put in the stone strips along, adjacent to the building. They've placed the topsoil, and today they're starting the planting. And then actually talking with TC Lawns, they're going to have the trees and those 9 abrevieties for the Hendricksons Monday. It's going to be on site. So I didn't know, Kip, if you wanted us to reach out to the Hendricksons about installing those and finding locations and all of that, and then even talking with DC Lawns, just how steep the slope is and stuff. They would prefer, going, planting those and getting access through the Hendricksons yard for that. So I didn't know if you wanted us to reach out to them, or if you wanted to reach out to them and maybe set up some sort of meeting Monday or early next week.
I'll send an email over to the Hendricksons saying that your arborvitaes will be on site on Monday, and please make yourself available to talk with the landscaper. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, George, one thing. Katie, you've got your hand raised. Do you have a question?
Thank you, Dave. I just wanted to ask a clarification on the demo. George, do you have an idea of when that might start?
Oh, it started now. We because of the '96 edition, that didn't have any soil or anything like that removed. And then all the interior abatement, everything's done on the 50. So we actually we started the demolition. I think it was late last week, but it's actually the 96 building.
Yeah, so the back portion part that is the holdup, right?
Pardon me?
The back portion, the older building, the 1980s.
Correct. Yeah.
So when do you think that will be able to? Like, is there going to be a gap in time? I guess I'm kind of getting at what's the ultimate date when you think it will all be completed, and then follow up to that is what might be the student impact, assuming that demolition might be continuing once school is back in session.
I mean, we're still shooting for the end of the month, be done and complete with the demo before the kids get here on the 29th. If for whatever reason, we have to go like a week or two as far as the impact with the school and all that, I think it would be pretty minimal. The only most of the impact is going to be trucking in the morning and then the afternoon when buses and stuff come. So they would have to get those trucks on site, before like 8:30 when the buses start, and then everything would have to be pretty much off site after 3:30. But we are far enough away, as far as noise and that. I don't think that would be a major impact at all. As you've seen now, we're down quite a ways from the school, all that. So.
Okay, thank you, George. So sorry, just to make sure I understand, the trucking you're talking about, that's bringing in trucks in order to haul out the debris from the demo?
Correct.
Is that okay? Thank you.
Yeah, the soil is going to Pennsylvania, so they're bringing trucks in from Pennsylvania to take the soils out, and it's just a 5-foot strip around around some of the perimeter of those 50 buildings. So it's not a lot of material, but they like I said, they're coming from Pennsylvania, and then I believe the exterior block is going to a landfill in Ohio. But as far as I know, I don't think that trucking, the trucks available for that, I don't think that's an issue, or I haven't been told it has, just the soils.
All right.
And then, as I said, the academic wings, part B, A, B, and C is just doing punch list and those kind of things. And talked about the punch list schedule. We changed, and we do have some pictures. Yeah, this is just the vestibule on the lower level, kind of looking. This is B, kind of the south end of B, looking in, and then this is the stair one going up. Got the lower level common learning, another common learning space. And then that's kind of the connector in between, looking into the courtyard. That's the admin area. The boxes, all that have been moved. And then I guess talking with Luke and Dr. Adley, I think the teachers are going to come in Monday, and then they can start, unboxing and setting up their classrooms. But I think they schedule that for Monday to do that. This is the temporary CAF. And then again, that's the main lobby by stair one.
George, before you leave that, I just want to go back to that picture, would you please? I want everybody to understand that as you're looking at this picture, everything on the left is a temporary wall because that's where the new media center will be and the walkway down to the gymnasium and cafeteria. So that's just a temporary wall you're saying on the left.
Yes, you can kind of see it. This is where the picture was taken. So, right, this is where the new addition will be going from that wall. That's the main lobby area. And again, that's the main level of that, I guess, connecting corridor looking into the courtyard. That's one of the classrooms. I think this is one of the younger, might be the kindergarten. And the exterior, and then since they've done the final paving, they'll finish the sidewalks. That's just the elevation. And the retaining wall. We did get some more photos this morning, a little bit more up to date. And that's on the south side. So they did do the final paving. They put in all the topsoil. Today they got, the shrubs and stuff, and then tomorrow or Monday rather, they'll bring in, some of the trees. Again, that's stair 2, so all the aluminum side and everything's been done. And that's looking north. There's the demo.
All right.
Yeah. Maybe I'll show some. Yeah, that's another typical classroom. That's a common area. It's pretty much set up right now. Ready to move in. Another common area. And that's the courtyard. So they started started the footings for the stainless steel rail. So we're looking probably next week to start, install the rails themselves. And they also set the posts for the the bird's nest fencing. That's another. Oops. Yeah, another one of the courtyard. Another courtyard. Yep, I think that's it. If there's any questions.
Looks gorgeous, George. Really exciting.
It'd be great when we get the railing up so people can actually go into the courtyard, because right now it's all locked out,
Right. Yeah, correct.
except for the sprinklers, which we got to keep running. Okay. All right. Next order of business is about our furniture update report. I'm going to turn that over to Amy.
Thanks, Skip. For the most part, all of the furniture for phase one. We have had an issue with the desks and chairs for 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade on the lower level. The chairs were a state contract item, came in as was selected. The desks were a bid item. We did not get the basis of design desks. We got an alternate, which was an approved alternate. It was a brand name that we are very comfortable with in terms of durability and quality. And it had all of the features that you were looking for as far as a book rack under the desk for that grade level. But the legs of that desk are about a ½ inch too small to fit the chairs. So the chair's foot gets caught if you try to slide the chair totally under the desk. So we went through a number of different options to try to alleviate that situation. What we have come up with, because of lead time issues, is we will be replacing the chair. It's easier to replace chairs than it is desks. We will be replacing the chair with another chair, same color, same brand, same book rack underneath, but a slightly smaller base that will fit under the desk. So that will take 6 to 8 weeks as of yesterday's meeting and decision that was made. During the interim time now, what we're doing is we're having some phase 2 chairs shipped early. We have 300 chairs that are planned for utilization in the gymnasium during assemblies. They are stacking chair. They have a sled base. They are a different chair style than the final chairs will be, but the base of that chair fits under the desk that is in the classrooms. So Amanda, interior designer, is actually there at the school this morning. She's going to meet Dr. Adley there at 11 because Luke is out of town this week, and double check she has a sample of that auditorium chair. Those chairs are scheduled for delivery again as of yesterday for the 26th. Skin of our teeth, getting here in time for school to start. And we anticipate that those will be in use in the school for about a month until the new replacement chairs get in. So just so that people know, that's what's happening in terms of a temporary solution for the beginning of the school year. And then there's not a cost for those temporary chairs because it's a product that we're already planning to use in the school in phase 2. We will end up having a storage, discussion about where those can fit. Kip mentioned yesterday there is ample storage space in some of our utility rooms, so we'll just be careful about not blocking any equipment, but probably use that. A second decision that will need to be made, but not in this forum, is what to do with the chairs that are delivered. They are, the possession of Darien. Darien owns them at this time, so they can be utilized in another one of your schools. They are a standard chair height, 18-inch, so they can actually be used in any grade level. So there's opportunity there for the district If you'd like to use those chairs, approximately 350, I think 336 comes to mind, but Amanda would know the exact number. Or we can look to have them restocked. We can look to donate them. You can store them. So it's something that we'll worry about sort of as we work through this situation. Right now, they're going to stay in the classrooms because you know, we just want to keep chairs in place until new chairs arrive.
Yeah, I would add, Amy, that we're also looking at which of those chairs, the ones that are currently on site that are too wide, are part of the specifications for the media center and other places that maybe we haven't counted on yet. So we'll try to see if we can ameliorate some of the cost of those existing chairs where they might be used. That's something to be looked at today.
Yes,
Okay.
Thank you, Kip. That's also what Amanda's doing, taking a look at, I think there are about 48 chairs that will be used in the library in phase 2. Instead of taking possession of the order for that, we'll have the excess chairs put in there. So again, kind of working through how many will end up with in excess and then what to do with those.
So Amy, a quick question then. The backup plan, if the chairs don't arrive on the 26th, is to continue to use the chairs with a wider base until those arrive? Or is there an existing set of chairs, or just so we know there's something there for the kids to use should those not arrive on the 26th?
Yeah, in fact, I can pull up a photo if the group would like to see, you know, what it looks like in place currently. I don't have access in it. Oh, am I allowed to share? George or someone?
Yeah, George will give you access.
Okay. Give me 1 minute to pull that up.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Diane, basically, if they don't arrive by that Friday, that's our option to use the chairs that are there.
Yeah, and they're perfectly fine working chairs. They're just you can't pull it completely underneath. You can pull it diagonally underneath, which I believe Christine has set it up that way. And I have a photo, but I have so many emails on the topic that it's hard for me to search. Sorry.
Dave, do you know how to do that? Switch.
Yeah, George, go to the listing of the people towards the upper right corner. There's a little person, and it says probably 13 next to it.
Oh yeah.
And then go next to Amy and hit those 3 dots and say make her presenter.
There is one other item having to do with furniture. That's that there were 2 additional administrative chairs requested by Luke. And so I've got a invoice for those. So I'll pass that through Kip and we'll get that PO cut for those 2 chairs.
You should have access, Amy, I think.
Okay.
Amy, we also have 2 sets of DLC chairs that we were planning on getting and have received, so they'll be included. But I think with the number that you're talking about, that we should be covered.
Okay.
Why can't you do that in the next phase?
I've got.
Okay, so then everything else is appropriate.
Well, while you're trying to pull up the right picture, why don't we go on and talk with Jeff Adams about the status of our technology equipment deliveries. There have been some issues there. And I also asked Jeff to sort of make a comment too about the cameras, because some of our neighbors have asked us questions about our security cameras. So Jeff, where's our status of our technology equipment deliveries and installations?
Sure. Just go over the different areas quickly. First one, the ViewSonic boards, which are the display systems for the classrooms. Those are completed. Those are installed in all 43 areas. A side piece to this is the audio systems for each of those classrooms. Those audio systems are installed. However, we are waiting for programming and training for those. And that should be completed by the end of this week, if not early next week. The telephone handsets are being installed today. The telephone switch is in, so that will be completed by the end of this week. The issue we came across with the telephones is that Frontier was supposed to provide service to the building. They gave us a delivery date of August 3rd. They let us know on August 5th that it was pushed back to September. However, we expedited, lit a fire under them. Fiber was actually installed earlier this week. Programming will happen next week, so we will have phone service in that building by Wednesday of next week. So that issue took care of itself. We have
Congratulations.
well, still fingers crossed on that one.
Yeah.
Wi-Fi service for the building is not functional yet. We had delivery issues with the initial model. Then they had a replacement model. We found another model that will work. It has been ordered, will be shipping. We should have them in hand either Friday or Monday, and they will be installed on Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. So the whole building will be lit with Wi-Fi by the end of Wednesday of next week. The lockdown system is almost complete. We have a little programming to do there. That should be completed by the end of this week. And then the final piece to comment on is the camera system. 95% of the cameras are fully functional, and we have reviewed each and every camera. And there are 3 cameras that have sights into neighbors' yards, and those have already been grayed out. So if there are any concerns about seeing private lawns or houses, they have been blacked out in the software already.
Could you explain that, Jeff, to people who don't understand that blackout process or whatever that means, gray out?
Sure, absolutely. So if we didn't want to see Kip's window blinds in the background when we look at his camera, the software has already put basically a sensor over his blinds. So we can see Kip, but we wouldn't be able to see his blinds. We've done the same with the surveillance cameras. So if there are houses or lawns anywhere, there's already a black sensor over the top of it, so nobody can see it, and nothing will be recorded from that camera.
This is a question that a number of neighbors have already asked the question about, and I thought it was very helpful that this programming solution is available and being used, and I thought that was very important for the public to know about, so that neighbors in the future will have an answer for you. Okay. Are there any questions from Jeff? Thank you, Jeff. Very helpful.
You're welcome.
So, Amy, do you have your picture?
I do. I don't know which monitor is what. Can you see it?
The dress forms are going to be the vein of our existence.
Nothing yet?
No, we can.
No, we see the picture.
Oh, okay. Okay, sorry. So This is the amount that if you push in the desk on the chair on one side, it gets caught by the leg of the desk here. So this is the Verco chair. We're still looking at the same chair, same color, and I will share with you that. So I think you can see multiple chairs on the screen now. Right?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So the chair on the far left is the one that we are going to take possession of early. This is the phase 2 chair for the auditorium seating. They have a different base, you can tell, but they are a stacking chair. It will be convenient to store them even when you end up with the correct chair in the future. We had these options as of yesterday. 2-week lead time, we could have gotten gray, no book rack. 4-week lead time, we could have gotten blue, the color that was requested, no book rack. But if you utilize these chairs for a temporary solution, we can get the book rack installed and the chair that will fit in the right color, and that'll be a 6 to 8 week lead time, as you can see here. So that's the status today. And so hopefully you agree that this is a good solution to an unfortunate issue so that we can get everybody chairs under desks and start school without an issue. And then replace them with what was requested and preferred by both Luke and the teachers.
Does that answer your question, Diane? Okay, great.
Thank you.
Kip, one quick question. I understand the desktops that came in were smaller than was anticipated. Is anything being done with that, or are we going to just live with the smaller desktops?
So I can respond to that, Rusty. That's where we have a little negotiation room right now with the vendor in Salco, who provided the desks, which were called alumni honor roll desks. The alumni honor roll desk does come in the size that was specified, which is 28 inches wide. These are 26 inches wide. We actually thought, oh, well, there's the issue. They didn't provide the right size desk. That's why the chairs don't fit. For that particular brand name, for alumni desks, unfortunately, they use the same base regardless of the desktop. So we can fight them. They will replace the 26-inch wide desks with 28-inch wide tabletops, but there is no change to the base. So the issue with the chairs would remain. The lead time and the disruption to classes, if you were to change out a desk 6 to 8 weeks from now, or more, desks seem to have had a longer lead time, unfortunately. Seemed like more of a disruption to the class than was worth it. You know, Luke is comfortable with the size of the desks that have arrived. So instead of changing out the desktops, what we're trying to do is utilize, leverage that inadequacy and sort of the incorrect incorrect desk that was delivered, and get Insalco to pay for some of the restocking fee of the original chairs or cost incurred on the new chairs. So unfortunately, they're not the ones providing the new chairs. Verco, who provided all of the chairs and is also able to provide the new ones, they don't have any fault in the matter. So it's a leveraging tool for us, but it's not going to be an even swap.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Marcy.
Hold on, Kip, I have a question. Yep. A 26-inch desk will be used for a second grader and for a fifth grader. And
no, actually the upper level, kindergarten, first and second, have a different desk style altogether. They have
Okay.
tables.
And Luke felt that this replacement desk, this 2-inch smaller desk, will suffice a 120-pound fifth grader sitting at a desk.
Correct. Again, the base of the desk does not change regardless
The height is the same, being able to slip your, okay.
Height is adjustable on all of our desks. The chairs are adult height, 18-inch typical chair height. And the width of the base is the same whether you use the 26-inch wide desktop or the 28-inch wide desktop. So
Okay.
there was no benefit there.
Okay. So size on the child is not going to be impacted by this change in size.
It should accommodate all children.
Okay. Thank you.
Because most 8th graders are bigger than me, or I'm sorry, 6th graders.
5th graders, yeah. I've got a big 5th grader, so.
Anything else on the furniture? Okay, so we're going to be working on what the actual number of chairs that we could utilize that are there on site for the future in the media center and other places. And we're also trying to figure out what we'll do with the obviously the credit that we are owed from Insalco for the incorrect size of the desktop rather than changing it out, because Luke's happy with the size of the desktop since we're not going to be changing the base. We're working on that. Next item of business, sort of to our end, is the rescheduling of our ribbon cutting event. Katie, do you have that?
Sure. Thank you. So Dr. Albee and I had spoken a bit, and while we were trying to get the ribbon cutting done before the building was actually occupied, and kind of to preserve that first peak, it seems that there are quite a few people who are really excited and want to attend. So due to scheduling and summer and all of that complications, most likely the date will be sometime in September. So that is still TBD. Duke and Alan and I will come back to you all once the board and a few other people have reconvened and been able to talk about that. So stay tuned for another email asking for your availability, and Dave and the team, I'll follow up with you just as soon as we have something more, if that's okay.
Sure.
All right, thank you.
Great. Anything else to discuss today? There's no public comment, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Katie moves. Can I have a second? And Diane seconds. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Thank you all. Have a nice September and a nice rest of the summer. Thank you.
Everybody,
Bye,
thank
everyone.
you.
Bye, everybody.